You spent 3 hours recording that podcast episode, another hour writing that blog post, and a few hours creating that YouTube video that actually turned out pretty good. And after you post them, they just sit there. You know you should be repurposing your content, but honestly, who has time to manually turn one piece of content into 6 different social media posts? I'm going to show you how to build a simple AI system that does this for you with minimal editing on your end. No automation platforms, no complex workflows, just you and an AI tool you probably already have. I'm Rob Fernango, and this is the AI Growth Accelerator. I run a membership program teaching small business owners how to actually use AI for real business problems. Not the flashy AI hype you see on social media, the practical stuff that actually saves you time, like 10 hours a week. Today, we're building a content repurposing system using Claude Projects, ChatGPT Projects, or Gemini Gems. It takes about 15 minutes to set up, and it works forever. First thing, you do not need to clean your transcripts before processing them. I know every content guru out there tells you need to fix the ums and the uhs and the false starts. They're wrong. Here's why. Your modern AI models can extract the concepts and the patterns and insights from messy transcripts with no problem. It's just fine. You're not repurposing the exact transcript language. You're generating fresh professional content based on the concepts and the language you already have there. So unless your transcript has multiple speakers talking over each other, or your audio quality was really so bad that it transcribed complete nonsense, just use the raw transcript. I've been doing this for months, and I always use raw transcripts with no cleanup. The AI output sounds like me with just a few minor tweaks at the end. That alone is going to save you about an hour of tedious editing work. There are 2 ways to approach this workflow, and I want to explain both up front so you can decide which makes sense for you. Tier 1 is what I call the interactive prompt workflow. You paste your formatting prompts into ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini every single time you want to repurpose content. It works, it's free, but you're manually entering those prompts each time, and your outputs might drift a little bit if you're not careful with the consistency. Now, Tier 2 is where you set up a persistent AI project. It could be a ChatGPT custom GPT, it could be a Claude project, or a Gemini Gem. All 3 will work. You load your specifications once, and from that point forward, the AI remembers exactly how you wanted things formatted. Now, here's the thing. Tier 1 is fine if you're just testing this out or you repurpose content once a month. But if you're doing this weekly, and especially if you already have ChatGPT Plus or Claude Pro or Gemini Pro, then Tier 2 is going to give you way more consistent results that sound like you without the heavy editing. So I'm going to focus on Tier 2 today and show you the full setup because that's where the real value is. But at the end, I'll give you a quick recap of how Tier 1 works if you want the simpler free version. Both approaches are included in the free toolkit that I'm going to give you at the end of this video. All right, so here's what we're building with Tier 2. An AI project that takes your transcript, identifies 2 to 6 good segments for social media posts, and then formats them exactly how each platform needs them while maintaining your messaging and tone. You're not trying to squeeze 9 posts out of every single piece of content. It's unrealistic. You're being selective. You're picking the strongest 2 to 6 segments that will actually resonate on the platforms that you care about. And the key is this. Once it's set up, the AI consistently produces posts that sound like you with minimal edits. We're talking maybe 2 to 3 minutes of tweaking, not 20 minutes or 30 minutes of rewriting. All right, you need 3 things to make this work. First, a knowledge document with your platform specifications. This tells the AI exactly how Facebook posts should look, how LinkedIn posts should look, word counts, formatting rules, tone requirements, really everything that the AI is going to need to create the post that you want. Second, you need a quality control checklist. This is your AI's internal editor. It's going to check every post before showing it to you to make sure it's not generic, it's not full of AI language, and it actually provides value. Third, you'll have system instructions that tie it all together. This is basically the wrapper prompt that tells the AI, hey, when someone gives you a transcript, here's your process. Segment it, wait for their direction, format it according to the specs, check the quality, and then deliver the final post. Now, I've created a free toolkit with all 3 of these. It's ready to go. You can literally copy and paste them into your AI project, and you're going to be like 90% of the way there with a little editing to personalize it for your situation. And I'll give you the link at the end of the video. Now, the setup process is going to look something like this. If you're using ChatGPT, you're going to create a custom GPT first, and then you're going to give it a title and you'll give it a description so you understand what it is and other people using it could understand what it is if you want to share it. Then you're going to paste the system instructions into the box for the system instructions, and you'll then upload the knowledge documents and put those in the location for the knowledge documents. So you'll have both knowledge documents there. Now, if you're using Gemini, you're going to create a custom gem, which is basically the same deal. You're going to have knowledge documents plus instructions. And if you're using Claude, you'll create a new project and then add the knowledge documents and put the system instructions in the custom instruction fields. It takes about 15 minutes the first time you do it, and then it's done forever. So every time you need to repurpose content from that point on, you just open up that project and paste your transcript. You go from one-time setup to a permanent system. And hey, before we jump into the demo, if you're finding this valuable, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the AI Growth Accelerator. This is the kind of practical AI workflow that I teach every week, stuff that's actually going to save you time instead of just sounding cool. All right, so let me show you what this looks like in action. I'm going to use a real transcript from one of my membership training videos. It's about 10,000 lines, 174,000 characters, and roughly 60 minutes of content. It's been auto-transcribed, and I haven't cleaned it up at all. So I'm just going to paste this raw transcript into the project and let the AI do its thing. And boom, the AI analyzed the content and identified 5 potential segments. Look at how it presents this. Segment number, core topics in a few words, the key insight, and which platform it recommends for each one. Segment 1 is about AI as a thought partner, and it recommends LinkedIn static or carousel posts. Segment 2 is about reviewing journal entries with AI, and it could work as a static post on multiple platforms. And then segment 3 is prompting AI to get insights and not just output. And it recommends, again, LinkedIn using either carousel or static posts. And this is exactly what we want. Clear options, platform recommendations. I can pick and choose based on what I actually need this week. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to format all 5 of these. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but maybe I just need 2 LinkedIn posts this week and 1 Facebook post. I'm going to be selective. For this demo, let's format segment 3 as a LinkedIn carousel post. And then I let the AI go to town on that. Okay, now let's look at what we've got. Here's the hook. Most people use AI at a shallow level. That's why they get shallow results. You don't need better tools, you need better prompts. That's a solid hook. It's specific, it creates curiosity, it's professional, but not corporate. It sounds like something I actually write. Now, as we scroll through the body, you'll see the post stays in the LinkedIn sweet spot of 8 to 10 slides for a carousel post. It keeps each slide simple, to the point, and within the word limit. The messaging is accurate to what I taught in the original content, and it ends with a CTA inviting the audience to engage with us further. And check out the image recommendations for each slide, as well as at the end, you've got an overall design recommendation. Here it says option 1 is the data visualization, high contrast, bold typography, and minimal icons. It tells me exactly what should be in this visualization, the mood, why it works for LinkedIn, and that it's easy difficulty to create in tools like Canva. Option 2 is a conceptual image, a staircase with subtle mirror imagery or reflection graphics showing that AI reflects your thinking. It's a medium difficulty to source from stock content, and some work to compile it, but it still supports the overall concept. And then in option 3, which is the fallback, you get a simple 2-column data visualization style with output thinking versus insight thinking. Simple text and graphics. It's easy to make with simple text icons. Now, these are specific. I could hand this to a designer and they'd know exactly what to create. Or I could search stock photos with these descriptions and find something that works fairly quickly. Is this perfect? No. I'd probably tweak the hook slightly to sound more like me, maybe adjust a few lines in some of the slides, but this is ready to publish with maybe 5 to 10 minutes and only some minor edits. I can copy this, paste it into LinkedIn, picked an image, and make my small tweaks and publish. And remember, this same project can now format Facebook posts, Instagram posts, and LinkedIn carousels, all with the same quality and consistency. The AI maintains my tone and messaging because the specifications are persistent and because you started off with my own content. Here's what you need to know about this system. First, Tier 2 setup takes about 15 minutes up front, but then you're done. Every transcript after that is just paste, select the segment, and boom, you're going to format it. That's it. Second, you should be getting outputs that need minimal editing, maybe 5 minutes of tweaks to make it sound exactly like you. If you're doing heavy rewrites every time, your platform specifications aren't tight enough. You could fix this by adding examples of what you consider good output, or you could be more specific about your tone and the voice. Third, the toolkit I'm sharing is a template. So you should customize it for your brand voice, your platforms, your audience. Now, the more specific you can get about how you write, the better the results you're going to get. And fourth, this works for any long-form content, podcast transcripts, YouTube video transcripts, blog posts, webinar recordings. If you've got 2,000 or more words of content that include any lists or frameworks or processes, or even just key concepts that your audience needs to know, you can get 2 to 6 solid social media posts out of it. And finally, if you're doing this manually right now, copying and pasting sections of your transcript, rewriting them for different platforms, you're wasting a few hours every single week. This system gets that down to 15 to 20 minutes from start to finish. Now, here's a quick recap on Tier 1. It's the interactive prompt workflow for those of you who either don't have or don't want to set up a full AI project. With Tier 1, you use individual prompts for each portion of the segmentation and formatting process. So you're going to paste the segmentation prompt into ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, whichever free version you're using. Then you're going to drag and drop or copy and paste your long form content there. Then you'll get your segments back from the AI, and you're going to paste the formatting prompt for whichever platform you want, Facebook or LinkedIn, and whether you want a static or a carousel output. It works, it's completely free, and you're going to get good results. But you're manually entering those prompts every time, and you'll need to be more careful and consistent because the AI doesn't have persistent memory of your specifications of what you want. So it's just a manual process all the way around. Tier 1 is great for testing or for occasional use, but Tier 2 is better if you're going to be repurposing content regularly and want the AI to remember how you write. All the Tier 1 prompts are in the free toolkit that I'm providing, along with the Tier 2 setup documents. So if you want to build this system yourself, I've got a free content repurposing toolkit for you. It includes everything that you need: the platform specifications, the quality checks, the system instructions for Tier 2, all the Tier 1 prompts, and the complete setup guide. Everything is copy and paste ready, and you can have the system up and running in about 15 minutes. The link is in the description to get all the materials. And if you want to go deeper on AI workflows for small business, the stuff that actually saves you time and makes you money, check out my AI Growth Accelerator membership. But start with the free toolkit. Get this system working and see how much time it's going to save you. It really is that easy. And now you know how to build a simple content repurposing system that actually works. So hit that like button if this was helpful and subscribe to the AI Growth Accelerator for more practical AI workflows. I'm Rob Fernango, and I'll see you in the next video.